Hi everybody, it is Wednesday. Today at the end of class you need to submit the first drafts of your papers. I do have a little bit to discuss with you today in the screencast before you get work time. So let's go over that a little bit. So first of all, I want you to look at the rubric in Schoology. I don't know if your Schoology page will look like this. They haven't released it to me. Again, I am recording this on December 12th, and they haven't released the Schoology course to me yet so that I can load things in it. Hopefully they'll do that for me before I leave for my surgery. But let's take a look at what you can do. This at least I hope will be transferred over. So this is the main folder that has information in it. If you open it up, you'll see there's a bunch of general stuff at the top, and then you'll see down here everything is put in here in order. So we're looking at speech 2, current event speech. So we're going to open that up, and we're going to look at this first thing. This is the grade, the current speech, event speech presentation. That is where you can see the rubric, what you're being graded on. So let's go over this really quickly. First, introduction paragraph, your teacher, your substitute, will be looking to see that you're introducing the claims that make a clear relationship with whatever it is that you're trying to prove. So do your claims. Do you have one claim that says that something is bad? Something that explains why whatever this current event is good? And then do you have a claim at the start of your third body paragraph that says that this current event and what your opinion is on it? So these are your claim statements as well as your introduction paragraph where you have a really good thesis to kind of set up your introduction. All right, body paragraphs. Each of the body paragraphs, I'm looking to make sure that you have evidence that you have, or claims that you've developed, and that you have evidence that supports each side in body paragraph 1 and 2. In body paragraph 3, which is where you give your opinion, you should also have evidence, but you should also do this. Summarize the points of disagreement between the two sides and then justify your own view on why you believe what you believe, why you think one side makes more sense than the other side. All right, so that's all the paper writing up there, but then we go down here and we've got formatting MLA, so you're going to get a grade based on how well you follow the MLA instructions. And then you get one for how well you write, spelling, capitalization, grammar, punctuation, and evidence that you have proofread and revised your work. So we know that every now and then there's these errors that show up in your paper that you're like, oh, I can't believe I didn't notice that error. Please read over your paper before you submit it so you can make sure that it is in good shape. All right. The other parts of the rubric are all about your delivery. So body language, that you're standing tall behind the podium with your hands lightly resting on either side of the podium, and that you have facial expressions about what you're doing. You're kind of being animated when you speak. Eye contact. You have to know your speech well enough when you start to deliver that you're able to look up and around the classroom. And then voice, you have to be loud enough. You have to have a good pace to what you're saying. It can't be too fast or too slow. And you should try to vary your tone so it doesn't sound all monotone all the time. And then finally, as part of this speech, after the speech, we'll be sharing a discussion. So after each speech, we'll open up the class for questions or comments about whatever the current event issue is. You can ask a question of the person giving the speech, or you can make a comment about how you feel about it, like what side you believe. You can look for clarification or whatever. That's all part of the discussion. So I'm looking to see that you're contributing on a regular basis to classroom discussion there. All right, so that's the rubric as far as how your speech is going to be scored. Again, that's in Schoology, current event speech presentation. And you will be graded probably while you are presenting. Okay, so remember, you want to make sure everything is in MLA format. Once again, double check that it's double spaced, that you have a title, that your heading is correct, that you've got page numbers formatted correctly, that you're using Times New Roman size 12 font, and that you have a separate page for works cited and that that's organized correctly. Okay, so your first draft is due today at the end of class. In the meantime, I want to briefly talk to you about the current event speech and any kind of comments or concerns. So let's do this quick first, and then you'll get some work time to submit. Okay, so again, MLA formatting right there. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Heading your name, my name, even though I am not currently present in the classroom, I am the instructor that's assigned to you. It is not the name of your substitute teacher. So make sure that that is Ms. Dunn right there. Make sure that you are doing everything correctly elsewise as far as MLA formatting. So again, this should say your name. This is my name, class, blah, blah, blah. You should have a page number with your last name and the page number in the upper right-hand corner and your title page. Remember that for in-text internal parenthetical citations that you should have the author's name, but if there is no author, you should be working with your article title, and it's the first 3 words of your article title in quotation marks. Make sure you're formatting that correctly. If you're using direct quotes, make sure that you have quotation marks around those. And if your direct quote, try not to do this, but if it goes longer than 4 lines, it needs to be a block quote. And hopefully your substitute teacher can kind of talk you through that if you have a direct quote that's longer than 4 lines. Okay, so let us talk good evidence versus bad evidence. Remember, tell us who the person that the source is. So if you say, according to Christopher Walker, and then you give a quote, if we don't know who Christopher Walker is, it doesn't help your credibility. So you would say, according to Christopher Walker, a professor at A&M University, blah, blah, blah. That helps. All right. Other things that I want to go over with you, we'll talk more about that after you're done looking at your corrections on your first draft of your paper. Okay, so now let's talk about how to submit the first draft of your paper. So what you're going to do on the Rhetoric and Research homepage, up here in the calendar, there should be, if they allow me to set it up, there should be an assignment that says first draft of major paper due. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on that first draft of major paper, and when that happens, up in here, right about here on your screen, it will say submit assignment or assignment submissions. If you click on that, it's going to open up a screen in the middle of your paper right here, or in the middle of your page right here, and the screen is going to have 3 tabs. I don't remember what the first or the last tab is, but the middle tab is called Create. So you're going to go to your document. I'm going to use this as an example. You're going to go to the upper right-hand corner and you're going to click Share. Right here in the middle of that document, this is going to pop up on the screen. You have to change this by clicking the down arrow there to Can Edit. That is very important. Can Edit. If you don't allow the substitute to edit your paper, the substitute will not be able to give you advice on how to improve it, and you won't be able to get that feedback to improve your paper by Friday. All right, so Can Edit. Then you want to go over here and you want to copy that link. So that link is copied. You go back to Schoology and you have this screen opened up with Create in the center. You're going to click into that box and you're going to do Control V, excuse me, which should paste your link into there. Make sure once you paste your link, you press the space button once so that you get an actual link that goes into your paper. Okay, and then you press the submit. I think there's a submit blue button down here. And that should submit it directly onto Schoology, and therefore your substitute teacher can look at it, read it, each of your papers over, and give you advice so that you can have them ready for class tomorrow. All right. Thanks very much. That's all I have to talk to you about. Just make sure that you do that submission at the end of class today. If you need to rewind this video and then play that submission again at the end of class, you can go ahead and do that so that the kids know how to submit via Schoology. All right. Submit at the end of class. Have a good day. Talk to you again tomorrow.